Now, the Queen and Prince Philip will begin a tour of Scotland today as part of the Diamond Jubilee celebrations.
They'll attend the annual ceremony of the Keys in Edinburgh this afternoon, where the Queen will be offered the keys to the city. Let's speak now to our Scotland correspondent, Lorna Gordon. Very good morning to you, Lorna. It's going to be quite a day.
Yes, good morning, Charlie. You know, the Queen is a frequent visitor to Scotland. She spends plenty of time up at Balmoral, her estate in Deeside in the northeast of Scotland. And every summer she comes and spends a week here at the Palace of Holyrood House. Her annual visit to this palace at the bottom of the Royal Mile made a little bit special this year, however, because it's time to coincide with the Diamond Jubilee celebration. So what will she be doing during her 5-day tour of Scotland? Well, today she starts off in Edinburgh with, as you say, the ceremony of the keys, when she's welcomed to what they call her ancient and hereditary Kingdom of Scotland. She'll also visit the Scottish National Portrait Gallery. On Wednesday she will visit Glasgow for a ceremony of Thanksgiving at the cathedral there. She'll also be visiting Clydebank and Inverclyde and West Dunbartonshire. Thursday sees her install Prince William, who's known as the Earl of Strathearn here in Scotland, as a Knight of the Thistle. And then finally on Friday she visits Perth, a city, a place which was awarded city status, in fact, as part of those Diamond Jubilee celebrations. So a very busy week ahead as the Queen brings that Diamond Jubilee tour to Scotland.
Lorna, thank you very much.
The Queen will be offered the keys to the city of Edinburgh in an ancient ceremony later today. She marks her Diamond Jubilee with a week-long visit to Scotland. She and the Duke of Edinburgh will then visit the Scottish National Portrait Gallery. Our Scotland correspondent Lorna Gordon joins us from the Palace of Holyrood House in Edinburgh. And Lorna, what are we expecting in this ancient ceremony of the keys?
Well, it's an annual ceremony. Of course, the Queen comes to the Palace of Holyrood House for Royal Week every year, towards the end of June, the beginning of July. At that point, the palace here turns into the main working royal headquarters. But this year, they have Royal Week that is timed to coincide with her Jubilee visit to Scotland. So the ceremony of the keys is an annual event. It's when the Queen is handed a set of keys and welcomed to her ancient and hereditary Kingdom of Scotland. That's the start of a very packed 5-day visit. In addition to that, as you say, she'll be visiting the Scottish National Portrait Gallery. Tomorrow there'll be a garden party here at the palace. They'll be hoping the rain holds off for that. Then on Wednesday she heads across to Glasgow for a service of Thanksgiving. Thursday, another significant day when Prince William, who's known in Scotland as the Earl of Strathearn, is made a Knight of the Thistle. There'll also be a parade down the Royal Mile here on Thursday. And then on Friday she will visit Perth, a city, well, a place that was awarded city status, if you like, because of the Diamond Jubilee. The Queen, of course, no stranger to Scotland. She spends a lot of time up at Balmoral in the northeast of Scotland every summer, and she spends that week here at the Palace of Holyrood House every year. But this particular visit, very special, part of those Diamond Jubilee celebrations.
Very busy too. Lorna, thank you very much. Lorna Gordon in Edinburgh.
Hello, good afternoon. The Queen is starting a week-long visit to Scotland as part of her Diamond Jubilee celebrations. This afternoon she'll take part in an ancient ceremony to formally welcome her to the city of Edinburgh. Cameron Buttle reports.
Scotland's Jubilee celebrations start here this afternoon at the Palace of Holyrood House with the ceremony of the keys. That's when the Lord Provost symbolically hands over the keys to the city of Edinburgh to the Queen. After that, the Queen will then go to the Scottish National Portrait Gallery, where she'll get a special preview of a new painting of the Formula One racing legend Sir Jackie Stewart. Sir Jackie Stewart will be there to meet her as well. It's going to be a busy week. The big days this week are Wednesday in Glasgow. That is where there will be a special Thanksgiving service at Glasgow Cathedral. Then a visit to George Square in Glasgow. Big crowds expected there. Back in Edinburgh on Thursday, that is when Prince William, the Queen's grandson, will be made a Knight of the Order of the Thistle. That's a very special award, and we're expecting that he will bring his wife, Kate, with him to that, so big crowds expected there as well. Tomorrow, we're expecting to have an investiture in the morning. That's when people will get honoured for public service. And then there will be a garden party. And unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be another day like today where there's not great garden party weather, and already it's taking its toll a little bit. The Palace have just been on the phone saying, please, asking people, the thousands of people who are expected here tomorrow, to try and make alternative travel arrangements because Holyrood Park is so waterlogged and not allowed to have any parking there. Thousands of people attending, so please try and do your best to make alternative travel arrangements. And of course, the whole week wraps up with a visit to Perth on Friday.
The Queen is in Scotland at the start of a week of events and ceremony to mark her 60 years on the throne. She's now in residence in Edinburgh, and over the next 5 days she'll host events in Glasgow and Perth as well as the capital. The Queen's first engagement was at the Palace of Holyrood House this afternoon. And our reporter Cameron Butto is there for us tonight. Cameron.
You know, Jackie, a wee while ago there was loads of people out on the lawn there, but there was a bit of a shower and I don't know where they've all gone. But the Queen is hosting a reception for people who have achieved the Duke of Edinburgh Gold Award tonight in the palace down there. So far it's been a relatively low-key start to the Jubilee celebrations in Scotland, but that's all going to change later in the week. It was a rather limp, damp royal standard that was run up over the Palace of Holyrood House today. But that meant the Queen was officially in residence in Scotland. Soon the crowds were gathering at the gates, hoping for a glimpse of her first engagement.
Pretty much nothing to see from this angle because you can't see over the massing crowds.
Someone tell us that the Queen is here, and okay, let's try to see if we can see him or see her. Sorry.
This is the bonus, and yeah, we found out she's getting the key to Edinburgh City, and here we are. Why not? Love the royal family.
Every royal week in Edinburgh starts with the ceremony of the keys. The Lord Provost offers the keys of the city to the Queen. The Queen then hands them back, stating, as tradition demands, that the keys are already in safekeeping. With that simple ceremony of the keys, the Queen has marked the start of her traditional royal week when the royal household moves to Edinburgh. But of course this year it has special significance because it also marks the start of Scotland's celebrations of her Diamond Jubilee. Soldiers from the 2nd Battalion of the Royal Regiment of Scotland were on parade for inspection before the royal party left for their first visit. Only the Queen could get to the other side of Edinburgh through the traffic and the tramworks as quickly as this on a Monday afternoon. And it's usually much busier in the Scottish National Portrait Gallery, and most visitors don't expect to see someone they're related to hanging on the walls. But there was one well-kent face, Scottish Formula One legend Sir Jackie Stewart, here for a special preview of his new portrait. A rousing start to Scotland's Jubilee celebrations, with much more to come in the week.
Well, let's go to Cameron now. Cameron, so what else will the Queen be doing?
Well, Jackie, the big days this week are Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday, it's in Glasgow. Glasgow Cathedral, a special service of Thanksgiving, live coverage on BBC Scotland, TV and radio. And then there's a special visit to George Square where they're expecting a lot of big crowds there. They're also expecting big crowds on the Royal Mile in Edinburgh on Thursday. That's when Prince William is installed as a Knight of the Order of the Thistle. That's then going to be followed by what's called a cultural spectacular. 400 pipers, drummers and dancers making their way down the Royal Mile back down to here at the Palace of Holyrood. And we're back here tomorrow with a garden party. Unfortunately, it's not really garden party weather tomorrow that was being forecast. And the Palace is saying it's already causing a few problems. If you're one of the thousands of people who are coming here tomorrow, they're asking you to try and make alternative travel arrangements because it's so waterlogged out there on the fields in Holyrood Park that they can't park all of the cars.
Thank you very much for that warning then, Cameron.